Hello everybody, this is Jonathan Mochtik with 1000 GM. I'm here with Grandmaster Var Akobian, taking a look at the St. Louis GM Norm event.
Hello everyone. The game we're going to take a look right now is the game between WGM Abrahamyan against Grandmaster Chandra. This was a very sharp opening, and let's take a look. Knight f3, we have a Sicilian defense. Knight c6 and d4. We're seeing the opening scene. We're not seeing the Rosolimos. We're not seeing the Rosolimos much. People just want to play the open positions, I guess. So there were a couple of knight c6 Sicilians we had in this tournament, but no Rosolimos. Now takes knight d4. So this gets to the d6 line, bishop c4, queen b6, activating the queen and putting pressure now on the knight. Knight b3, e6. Queen will be parked on c7. And again, both queen has to go back, and now the bishop is misplaced. a6. And this is one of those classical Sicilians where white is going to try to push g4. G4 is very typical, G4, G5 plan. Another option sometimes is you can play queen e1 and bring the queen to G3. H6, black is trying to stop G5 by discouraging it, because now, if let's say you play here, then it's just take, and after D5, black is just going to rip open the king, and you might even actually get mated if you're not paying close attention. So of course you're not going to play G5 without preparation. So rook f2 first. B4. This is an interesting move that I normally don't see people play B4 in this type of positions. And for example, here the computer is showing a nice evaluation for for black after the move rook d8, and basically with the idea to try to play d5 and rip open the center. Okay, so d5 takes knight d5, and this really opens up the position. So for example, if you play h4, d5 takes, and you even can take and try to play the move d4. Yeah, this is just too open. The knight is going to jump in on e4 as well with an advantage. So, but he didn't play that. He played the move b4, which is definitely not the best move here. And now bishop f3 by Abrahamyan, and now d5. So this is the plan he was aiming for, just to get the knight on b4 and then open up with d5. e5, knight e4. Yeah, looks good. Looks good in a sense that it's not as strong as if would have been the move rook a8 right away, but it still looks very, very logical what is black doing here. Bishop e4, d, queen d4. Now, if ever this pawn from e4 moves, this queen c6, queen h1, it's just going to be a super dangerous threat to stop. So white has to be very careful and keep that bishop on e4. Make sure, the bishop on e3 to make sure this e pawn is not moving, because if that pawn starts moving, it's going to be a real problem. So castles, knight a5, activating the knight and putting some pressure on b7. Knight c6, trying to trade the knights. fc8, knight c6. I'm a little bit surprised on the decision to take on c6. I mean, it's and now queen c6 was played. I guess if take on b7, queen b7, and there's a knight d5 tactic, and if takes, queen b2. Yeah, looks like this just doesn't quite work concretely. You can play queen b3, but you're going to be slightly worse. Yeah, because otherwise you definitely want to eliminate the bishop, because we know bishops are more valuable, and you'll be able to get a a better game. But okay, so take, queen takes, and now we reach this end game. Black is certainly slightly better. Two bishops can play maybe a5, rook a b8, and put some pressure on b2. Knight a4, rook a b8, knight b6, rook d8, rook f1, f5. Idea behind this move is to break the center or give black a strong pass pawn on e4. So rook fc1 play. That's a little bit surprising. I think up on sound was necessary. Bishop takes f6, and say rook ft1. If bishop takes b2, there is the exchange of the rooks, and maybe just the rook takes a6. And if there is a take here, bishop takes, bishop b2, there is rook d6 here, activating the rook, attacking the bishop and the pawn on e6. So yeah, I think taking back en passant would have been nice. So rook ft1, I'm not sure about this move because now g5, a very strong move here. I think WGM Abrahamyan, she misevaluated this a little bit, and now after g5, Chandra is taking over the initiative. Knight c4 takes, bishop c5 check. Yeah, if you go to h1, there is e3. So king g2 was played. I guess the best move is knight e3, but okay, that's a move that not too many people will even consider because that just pins yourself. So it goes here, and now there's e3 check. Rook d4, wow, attacking the knight. Another option is just to play e2 here. e2, just to continue advancing the pawn. e3. Okay, there's a very clever move in this position, Jonathan. Black can play the move h5, now threatening h4 to win the bishop. Then if you capture, king is simply parked on h7, and then rook d ga check is just absolutely devastating for white. So instead he took on g4, rook a6, bishop f3, strengthening the pawns, and now rook d1 is d1 idea is up for bishop b4. Knight d2. Now rook f2. It's an excellent move, rook f2, and basically if the rook moves now, you can promote into a queen, and if the king goes on g3, you simply take, protect the rook. So after this
that's a lot.
Yeah, after this move, he just simply resigned. There's not much he can do. But yeah, last clever moment here was instead of taking on f3, but yeah, it just looks very bad already. So it's just.
It just kind of proves that pass pawns should always be pushed if you can get them down the board.
Absolutely, it doesn't matter where they are. Pass pawns, they're meant to be pushed, and I think Grandmaster Chandra demonstrated this very, very well in this game. I thought the critical part was right around here. Position is, a little bit better for black, but I mean this play was very interesting. F5, not being afraid of en passant, and rook fc1 was inaccuracy, and then g5, and then position gets open. And when position gets open, Jonathan, we know it's better for which player?
Whoever has the safest king.
Also with the person who has the two bishops.
Yeah, of course. Well, the two bishops will put the king in danger from all these angles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If your king is just in the middle, like here, see, it started to get.
Yeah.
It started.
Those diagonals are so long, and you control all the diagonals yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, 93 was the best move here, but it's hard to play a move like that.
Yeah, you don't want to pin yourself. But yeah, because I can see what could happen. You could then maybe put rook behind it or king up and support the rook. Support the knight for as long as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a very nice play. Very nice play by Grandmaster Chandra, getting the W in this game. Hope you guys enjoyed this game, and we'll be back with more videos on our YouTube channel, 1000 GM. Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned.